Hey, my friends, we've made it to the end, chapter 16. I appreciate all of you that stuck with me through it. Don't forget to take your AR test at the end. Chapter 16, Goodbye. This was the most exciting spring vacation we ever had, Beth declared on Saturday as the girls woke to still more rain on the roof. Even though I feel like I'm turning into a mushroom, will this rain never stop? I'm going to miss Steve, I think, when the Bensons go back to Georgia, said Eddie. What? Cried Caroline. I will. He's the nicest Benson of all. Well, I'm going to miss all the excitement, said Caroline, but at least I finished my school assignment, and the newspaper story makes a new page for my resume when I become an actress. Then they'll see that I can play incredibly brave roles on stage. I'll bet I'm the only girl in the whole United States who ever locked a cougar in a garage. I don't know about that, but I'll bet you're the only girl in the whole United States who goes around bragging so much about it, told Beth. You don't understand, Beth. Actresses need all the attention they can get to stay in the public eye. It's not wrong to go around tooting my own horn. No, but you don't have to lean on it, said Eddie. The girls had scarcely brushed their teeth when there was a knock on the back door. Eddie opened it. Steve, she said. He smiled a little shyly. Just came over to say goodbye. We'll be leaving in a little while. Goodbye? Why, you just got here practically. Eddie saw the other boys coming across the yard behind him. I know, but Mom wants a day to get the laundry done and everything before we start back to school, so we're going home this morning. Eddie and her sister stepped out of the back porch. We didn't get to do half the stuff we really wanted, Caroline complained. We didn't either, Doug piped up. We were going to wave sheets in front of your window and make you think it was ghosts. Hush, Dougie, Bill told him. And Steve was going to slip a note under your door, said Peter. Hush, said Steve. His face turned pink. Eddie's did as well. Have you decided whether or not to move back to Buckman? Beth asked Tony. I don't know. Dad hasn't said. What about you? We don't know either. Maybe it depends on what your dad does, said Beth. I guess there's not room for 2 football coaches at the college. What they should do is start a baseball team or something. Yeah, said Steve. That would be neat. There was a blast from a horn across the river. We've got to go, Tony said. He looked at Jake. You guys better write us, okay? Yeah. Now that we've met the whomper, the weirdo, and the crazy, you have to keep us posted on what they do, said Danny, and he and Bill grinned. That's us, I suppose, ha ha, said Eddie. Hope you make the team, Eddie, said Steve, smiling. I'll write you if I do, she said. Hope you don't hear any more ghosts, Beth, said Tony. Hope you get laryngitis, Caroline, and can't talk for a whole month, said Bill. The boys laughed, and so did Caroline. The horn sounded again, and the Benson boys set off down the hill beside the Hatfords. I never thought I'd miss those guys, but I will, said Beth. I never thought I'd miss boys at all, but I do, said Eddie. But isn't it nice just to be sisters again and not have them coming over every day, climbing all over the loft and tracking mud up on the porch with their stinky shoes, said Caroline. No, answered Beth and Eddie together. That night, Caroline lay in bed thinking about school and about how she might be asked to describe for the class how she had caught the cougar. I know, she thought. Wally and I can do it together. He can stand up on Miss Applebaum's desk and pretend it's the loft, and I'll be down below. She felt herself drifting off into a dream about cougars and firemen and Wally Hatford. Then she suddenly heard a tap, tappity tap, 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 tap. She opened her eyes. Tap, tap, tap. It came again. Caroline turned and looked at the clock. Almost midnight. Tap, tap, tap. The noise was coming from the wall behind her. Caroline got up and put her mouth to the floor register. Okay, you guys, I know you're down there, she said. Tap, tappity tap. The noise continued. Bolder now because of her encounter with the cougar, Caroline decided not to tell her sisters but to investigate on her own. Undoubtedly, one of the Hatford boys had crawled back through the basement window, as Tony had done before, and was tapping on the water pipes to make her think the house was haunted for sure. She slipped into the hall and down the stairs and got a flashlight from the kitchen. Then, without turning on any lights, she opened the basement door and stealthily started down the stairs. 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps, 4. She waited until she got to the bottom before she snapped on the flashlight. The furnace pipes made grotesque shadows on the wall like long fingers against the cinder block. I know you're down here, Caroline repeated, a little less boldly. Holding the flashlight out in front of her, she began moving around the corner of the basement toward the ping-pong table. Step by step, closer and closer. When she got right over to the table, she directed the beam of the flashlight toward the basement window. Closed. Locked, in fact. She turned slowly and pointed the light in all directions, but she saw no one. No one at all. Tap, tap, tap. She could still hear the ghostly tapping from somewhere. Then she heard another sound. Footsteps. The creak of the floor above. Step by step, closer and closer. Now the footsteps were crossing the kitchen floor. Now they were at the door of the basement. Now they were coming down the basement steps. Help! Screeched Caroline. Good grief, called her father. Caroline Lenore, what in the world are you up to? Oh, Dad, I heard a noise, a ghostly tapping, and I thought the house was haunted or the boys were back or... We've got a leak in the roof from all the rain. Water's running down inside the wall and hitting a heat duct. That's all, her father said. Beth and Eddie appeared behind him in their pajamas and bare feet. What is it? What's the matter? They asked. Your sister's imagination is on the loose, that's what. Caroline, could you possibly make the effort to forget about ghosts for one night? It won't be easy. Do you think it's too much to ask that you stay in your bed until morning? I suppose not. Do you think your father could have one night of peace and quiet before spring vacation ends? He asked. I'll try. Then go to bed, said her father. And she did. On Monday morning, Wally came out of the house with his brothers and found the Malloy girls waiting for them at the end of the bridge. They were used to walking to school together now, and Jake and Josh fell in beside Beth and Eddie, while Peter skipped happily on ahead. They left Wally, of course, to walk with Caroline, who had a sickening smile on her face. A scary smile. A sickening, scary smile that could mean only one thing. Trouble. Good morning, Wally, she said, moving up beside him. No, said Wally. Whatever it is, no. I have an idea for our spring assignment, and I'll bet you can guess what it is. The answer is no, said Wally. Everyone is going to ask you about it anyway, so you might as well get up and tell the class. No, said Wally. But even then, he knew he was doomed. We'll not just tell about capturing the cougar, Wally. We'll show it. We can use Miss Applebaum's desk for the loft, and I'll be down below, and maybe we could get Peter to be the cougar and... We who are about to die salute you, Wally said to himself, smiling a little. But he kept his eyes on the road ahead. And that's the end. So, if you enjoyed reading The Boys Return, leave me a message in the comments on YouTube or send me a message on Seesaw and let me know. And if you want me to continue reading with book number 8, send me a Seesaw message. Here's the code for AR. The Boys Return 58215. It's showing up backwards, but The Boys Return 58215 is the quiz number. See you next time.